Okay, since I put the first video training people, I got a lot of comments coming back saying that I don't like selling. But what is selling? I mean, if your view of selling is like the picture above, then I don't like being sold to, and I certainly wouldn't want to be selling in that way. So if that's your view of selling, I agree with you. I don't like selling either. But what is selling? Suppose you had something that everybody wanted. Suppose they kept knocking at your door saying, "Please, can I have one?" Suppose they said, "I'll happily pay you extra if you can get me one." Suppose that every time you saw them, they just couldn't stop thanking you enough for providing them with it. Would that upset you? Or would that be something that you enjoyed? Because that is selling, and that is the way that selling should be, and that is the way that if you've done your job right, that is the way that people will react to you, and that is selling. And that is an important part of any business. If your business has no sales, you've no business. So provide a service and be proud of the service that you provide. And because of that, take charge every time that you are in a selling situation, whether it's a presentation, whether it's online, whether it's face-to-face. Remember that you've got what they want and need, so you are in control. All that they've got is money and a need. But you've got the solution. You've got the solution to their problems, and you are the expert. And always remember that they don't know what you don't know. So be the expert, provide that service, and be proud of your service. If you're not proud of your service, find something else, do something else. Some of the questions I received were, how do I contact people? How do I approach people? How do I get them interested? How do I get them excited? What criteria do I look for when contacting somebody? Well, these really are all very, very similar. And so what you're looking for is you want the man. And that's not sexist, it's an anachronism for money, authority and need. You want somebody that has the money to spend on what you are offering. They have the authority to spend that money, and they have the need for the service that you are providing. If those conditions aren't met, you're not going to make a sale. They may want what you've got, but if they've no money, how can they buy it? If they've got the money, but they don't really want what you're providing, they're not going to part with the cash. So those are what you're looking for. You're looking for people that have the money, the authority to make the decision, and the need for what you're providing. Just quickly here, if you're searching for people on Facebook, I know that some people have come back to me and said that they want to know how to search on Facebook, and I've told them about graphic search and they say it's not available. And I've had some people from countries that I do know it's available. I don't know whether it's available internationally or not, but I know it is available in most countries. But it's not there automatically. You have to request it. And so there's the link on this slide, where you can request this, and it'll give you much more power in searching for people, but I'll go into how you do that later on. So once you've found somebody that has the money, the authority and the need, what you've got to do then is you've got to find what really turns them on. This is known as their hot button. What makes them excited? What excites them about what you've got that you're offering to them? For example, recently there was a promotion done by Pure Leverage. Joel was giving away a Ferrari, and I got a lot of people coming to me saying, you know, you're a good marketer, you can win the Ferrari, join this here. You know, I don't want a Ferrari. I've never wanted a Ferrari. I don't need a Ferrari. If I did, I'd go out and buy one. But I don't. I mean, it doesn't turn me on in the slightest. They could just as well have said, here's a used toffee paper, because I would want it just as much. It's just no good to me. So you've got to find out what people are interested in. If you're talking to people and saying, you can travel the world, and they hate travelling, they hate being on planes, and they love being at home, sat in front of the fire on a cold winter's day in a snowy place, then talking to them about spending life on tropical beaches is not going to cut it, is it? I mean, you've got to find out what interests people. And to do that, Rudyard Kipling wrote a little poem, and it was, "I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and how and where and who." Now, there's much more to the poem than that, but that's the important part, because you've got to use these words when you're talking to people. You've got to ask them, and you've got to ask them questions that don't get answered with yes or no. You've got to ask leading questions, and these are why you need these 6 words. What is it that you are looking for? Why do you want it? When would you like to have it? How are you going to get it? Do you know where are you going to find what you're looking for? Who is going to help you get that? You see, people don't care about what you've got until they know that you're interested in them. It's put in this little quote below. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So you've got to ask these questions and get to know the people. Be a friend. That's what Sailors is about. It's about finding out what people want, being a friend, and being able to offer them a solution. A good way to attract attention is to have a blog. Now, I know a lot of people tell me as well that they don't like blogging, but a blog makes you an authority, and it gives you somewhere that you can send people online without sending them to a squeeze page where they've got to opt in to get some information. A lot of people are fed up with squeeze pages. They see a squeeze page and it turns them off. If they really want the information, a lot of people will put in a false email address so that they don't get pestered. So, are squeeze pages still useful? Yes, of course they are. But if you send somebody to a blog, you can give them a reason why they can opt in to your squeeze page. Tell them, this is what I'm all about. They read it in the blog, they get excited, and you say, okay, the next thing to do is opt in to my autoresponder. That way you can be in touch with me, because all you've got to do is hit reply when you get a message, ask any questions you like, and I'll be there to answer them for you. I'll be able to keep you updated with what's going on, and I promise I won't be sending you a lot of rubbish information. And in that way, people will say, yeah, okay, there is a reason for me to opt in to this list. On a blog, you can also add videos. You don't have to be typing madly all the time. You can add videos, you can add quotations. People love to read quotations. You can even copy other people's blogs as long as you give them credit for it. Say, I found this great piece of information written by such and such, and put a link to their blog in and say, but I've put it here so that it's easy for you to find and read. And after they've read it, you can add a little bit at the bottom saying, and this is what I liked about it. What did you like about it? And this is what I suggest you do now. So you don't have to spend your time being an author. You can look for things that you can add. You can find YouTube videos on personal development and things like that and post them in personal development groups and get interaction through your blog. Start conversations and make friends with people. What is important is whatever you're doing, and whether you're doing it through a blog or through talking to people or anything else, is you've got to have a call to action. People have to know what you expect them to do, and you've got to be very specific about it. Because if you don't, they'll just be floundering. They'll say, well, okay, I read this blog, but where do I go from here? Or, well, the guy talked to me about this and it sounded very interesting, but he never told me what to do. And there's another little formula, if you like, that is used in advertising, and that is the AIDA formula. You've got to get people's attention. So that's the first step. Once you've got their attention, you've got to build interest in things. And how do you build interest? By finding out what interests them, by being interested in them. Only when you're interested in them will they be interested in you and what you've got. And then once that interest is found, you've got to create a desire for what you have. And you do that by linking what you have to offer to what interests them. And once you've done that, then you've got to be very clear on the action that they take. You've got to be very specific. For example, in my blogs, I usually say to people, if this interests you and you're really committed, then what I suggest you do is opt into my list so that we can be in communication with one another. It'll send you to a training video. Watch the training video and then add me as a friend on Facebook and get back to me on Facebook and tell me what you thought about it, and if it's something that you'd like to take further, or whether you'd like more information. So give them lots of things to do, but make sure they're clear on what to do and how they can progress. You've got to make it very, very specific for people. There are times I see blogs that say, and they have a link and it says, watch the video. And it is a link and it's blue and it's underlined. But that will not get as many clicks as if you put, click here now to watch the video. Because you're not being specific. Watch the video, okay. Some people might not recognize it as a link even. Click here now to watch the video is specific. It tells them exactly what to do. So always be specific in what you're doing. Okay, that's covered a few points, but I promised you last time that coming soon there would be finding prospects, making friends, finding problems and being a problem solver, because solving problems leads to sales. And tomorrow's video is going to cover finding prospects, how you can go out there, where you can go, what you can do to actually find prospects and have prospects attracted to you and looking for you. In the meantime, concentrate on your mindset. Be a better you and start developing yourself personally. And remember that the only person you should ever try to be better than is the person you were yesterday. A tiny improvement every day at the end of the year will make a massive, massive improvement in your life, in every aspect of your life, on the journey that you're taking. So never stop learning. There's a great man that died recently, Zig Ziglar, and one of his quotes was, "People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily." So look for things to develop you personally, be a better you, and I'll be back with you tomorrow, and I'm going to see you at the top. God bless.